Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Hope everybody can hear me okay. See, it's been a couple weeks, and I take a little bit of a break, and all of a sudden I forget what the process is here. Gotta love it. All right. Don't need this anymore. Flip this around. Oh, my God. It's been crazy busy. But we're back. It's been a combination of busy and people overdose and eye infections. Kept me away for a couple weeks. I love my reptile people, but unfortunately with the day job, I've got to deal with not reptile people. So it gets a little bit arduous at times. So maybe one of these days I'll be able to limit myself completely to just hanging out with the snake folks and not having to worry about the day job. But in the meantime, let's see. Okay, let me get back on track here. Who's with Erica? Hey, good to see you. It's good to be back. Feels weird. Feels like I've been gone forever. Like I said, I forgot to even put the right splash screen on when I turned back on. Tara, good to see you. Half here and half doing homework. Well, we got half of you here. That's the important part. Oh, Tara's asking if she should trade her Tegu for a white throat monitor. I don't know. That's a tough call. Those are both pretty cool lizards. Nicole, good to see you. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. It's only been 2 weeks since I've been on. But, man, feels like it's been forever. It's tough, though, man, because, during the week, working all week and all that other stuff. And then I've only got the weekends to take care of the animals and been going out to the mountains every weekend. I've actually missed that one. I didn't get out there last weekend. Matter of fact, the last 2 weekends I hadn't been out there. Yesterday was the first time I'd been out there in 2 weeks, too. So... but we did get some good pictures. Matter of fact, for those of you guys, I guess, yeah, we got a couple people on, but, oh yeah, Chloe's been off the hook. We've actually got a special guest co-host for tonight. Joins us all the way from the reptile room, and you probably see the big red lid over there. So she's going to come out and hopefully not destroy the entire office when I open the lid. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys. So I know a lot of you guys that caught the last video that I put out. It was on the wildlife photography stuff. And, like I kind of went into there a little bit. When we started Intrepid Exotics, I named it Exotics instead of snakes or retics or anything like that. It's because I expected at some point to bring more animals into it. I was initially expecting to maybe start up doing marine aquariums again and start putting some stuff into that. But I've since decided that I am not starting up any freshwater aquarium or saltwater aquariums for a long time. Wait until everything's reestablished, of course, bigger place and all that, because I just don't have room for them here. But I thought that the wildlife photography might be a cool thing to add to it. I've been doing a lot of bird and flight stuff, and I actually spent some time working on it and getting it cleaned up tonight. I've got the Intrepid Exotics website here, and I'll show that to you guys real quick. Let's see. There's that. Let me get the right screen in here. That's the wrong screen. That's the wrong screen. I know I made one especially for this. Okay. Well, where are we at? Aha, there we go. But yeah, so here's the gallery and the new website. And the website's been out for about, I don't know, a few months now. Just haven't spent a whole lot of time working on it. But this is the home screen. There's our co-host for tonight as soon as we get her out. But it just kind of goes into a little bit of what we do here. Of course, some stuff like that. And then I've got the wildlife photography section in there. It's really good to have a portfolio of the stuff that you do. So I got this up here. So it's got a whole collection of stuff. This is one of my favorites right here. Just a whole collection of the different photos that I'm working on. I want to start doing prints and so forth. I actually upgraded the camera. I was using the crop sensor M50 Mark II that I'm using to record this is what I've been using. And I just upgraded to a Canon R5, which is a 45 megapixel beast. And it does phenomenal work. All of this stuff right here, like all the stuff that I took at the Sylvan Heights Bird Park, that was all done on this little crop sensor here. So when I make another trip back there with this R5, it's just going to be completely off the hook. Here's one of the R5 pictures I took yesterday or this morning. I think it was this morning. Cut the emu running around yelling. But I mean, this stuff just does phenomenal work. So I'm hoping that I can start capturing some really cool stuff and kind of using that to, using the prints and stuff to kind of subsidize what it is that we do here. So we'll see how that goes. God, where am I at? See, now I just let myself get way behind, and here we go. I'm break schmake. Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's just the scheduling can get kind of tough sometimes. Hey, Charles, good to see you. Yeah, Erica's saying Chloe's starting already. That's her right there. In that enclosure, she's always pushing, trying to get out. Deborah, how you doing? Good to see you. Greg and Betty. I know it has been a long time, man. That's what happens when we get used to getting in a routine of doing this every week, and then something happens. Got to take a week or two off. And hey, okay. So Gary Tarpley is here from Constricted and Addicted. I need to plug this, and I'm going to start pushing some stuff out. We are going to be on his channel on. It is. I was just looking it up just a second ago, and it completely escaped me. September 27th, I think it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. God, I just seen the date here. No more than 5-10 minutes ago. And September 14th. Okay. So it's going to be, Gary's putting it on. He's going to have Chris McVicker there, Lucas from Retic Lounge, Nicole Tisdale from Lady Tiss Exotics. And did I say Chris McVicker? Yeah, and myself. And we're all going to kind of roundtable retic stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I've really talked with Gary, man. We're both so busy doing our own thing. For those of you guys that don't follow his stuff, man, I really strongly suggest going to Constricted and Addicted on YouTube and follow him on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff too, because he's a musician, a metal musician, and his band is amazing. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. When you get to his page, you'll see it's Navain, I think is how you pronounce it. But the guys are on point. If you're into metal, man, you'll love it. And really looking forward to catching up with everybody. We haven't really talked with, I've kind of been out of the loop, kind of isolated this summer so far. Just a whole lot of moving parts, man. But again, yeah, no rush. Got to live life. Got to do what we do. What are you talking about? Tenrec Exotic is a thing. To learn more about. Okay, you're gonna have to when I catch up in the comments there, you'll have to let me know what Tenrec is because I'm not familiar with that. Hey, Caesar, how you doing, man? That's another place I really need to get down to see Caesar because dealing with the alligators can just be a blast. Definitely need to do that. Okay. You insist you're the same person. Good to know. Yeah. Hey, Travis made it. Good to see ya. Oh yeah, man, the Flamingo Pit. That place. If you're anywhere near Eastern North Carolina, the place is called Sylvan Heights Bird Park, and they've got the best aviaries out there ever. Um, a lot of these are set up so you can walk in, and all of these birds are just flying around. Like there was some really really ornate pigeons, and I know when I think pigeons, I never really think of anything other than the ones that are, you know, hanging around on the buildings. But I'll show you these because they were really freaking cool. That back in there, but yeah, the when I started looking up the names for these guys, this one's a pigeon. And I don't remember exactly what the name of it is, but it's a pigeon. And let's see, what's the other one? This one. These were really cool. As I was taking pictures of these things, man, they're flying right by my head in the aviary, trying to catch them. I thought I had some more, some other pictures of these guys. They're just, some of these birds out there are amazing. You know, like I say, even the pictures that I caught of these guys are on the old crop sensor camera. So when I get out there with this R5, this beast, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So, you know, we're not dropping the reptile thing by any stretch of the imagination, and you'll see in a minute when I get my co-host out here. But yeah, I thought this was just a cool add-on to the channel. I know, you know, I've got some folks here that have their own channels and things like that as well. And, you know, part of having this channel was me, you know, trying to learn my gear better and all that other stuff. And it just kind of all went into doing the photography thing. And I was like, well, what's the hardest thing I can do? And wild or bird in flight photography came up. So that's what I've been working on, and starting to get into some more video stuff. I've got some somewhere, but I mean, this camera does 8K downsampled to 4K, which is just freaking stellar. So as soon as I get this next round of lenses paid off, I'm going to get the lens so that I can start using that for the videos and up the video quality a little bit more on here. But let's see. Yes, got to get the USARK banner going. Thank you so much. There, get up there. There, that button. Yeah, let me remember how to work this thing. Hey, Mom's here. I made it this week too. I will have to check this out. Glenn McClellan put out a retic book, so I'll have to check that out. Hey, Turtle, how you doing? Good to see ya. That's good to hear. Caesar was saying it. Flamingos made a really big comeback. That's one thing that I do miss about being in Florida is, like, you go out on the docks out there and you get these huge birds that are so used to people that they just sit there. You can walk a foot away from them and they just look at you, completely ignore you. And I've been seeing in a lot of these photography groups that I'm in, yeah, people out there on the coast are just getting some amazing friggin' shots. Tenrec is an animal that looks a lot like a hedgehog, but nicer, less moody, and totally handleable. Yeah, my hedgehog is, he does pretty good most of the time. He gets a little bit grumpy. I think Clint did make a video about the hedgehogs not too long ago. Let me see. Get over here. Jar Jar, hey, we made it. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. Skinny Slims. Hey, man, how you doing? Let's see. Yeah, pelicans. I've seen a bunch of stuff of them just being real tools out there. Panther's here. How you doing? EW, how you doing? Good to see you, man. All right, so we're okay. Before I get Monty out and let her hang out, Chloe's gonna be pissed, but we got to go in really quick. And for those of you guys that are new, Charter says ball python's big enough to wrap around his neck. Had a snake. Awesome. Yeah, it's kind of nice when they start growing up a little bit and they get a little bit easier to handle. It's kind of like when your kids get old enough to where you can start leaving them home by themselves. All right, so those of you guys that are hanging out and new here, if you're new here, first of all, jump down, hit the like button. Helps get this stuff out, helps get more people involved, helps get more people in the chat, and makes everything more fun. Hit the like button. If you're not already, get subscribed to the channel. We just rolled 1 million views not too long ago, and we're like 43 subs away from 10K. So it's still a slow crawl, but we're getting there slowly but surely. So yeah, let me get back here because I'm freaking all over the place tonight. It's just been, let's see, here we go. So those of you guys that are newish to the channel, every time we do a live stream, I would say every week, but the last couple of weeks have been gone. Every time I do a live stream, I pull up USARK. If you're not familiar with them, they are the organization that represents reptile keepers in state and federal legislators. They look through all of the legislation that comes through. They've got a team that goes through all of this stuff. And if there's anything that looks like it's unfair to us, they will jump on it. They will let us know. They will show us where we can find it. They'll give us a synopsis and a breakdown of what it will do. And they even go so far as to put up sample emails, put down all the contact information. So these guys make it a complete no-brainer for everybody to get involved and help us prevent bans that are unreasonable, laws that are unreasonable in respect to our animals. It's usark.org. The link is down in the description of all my videos all the time. And I strongly encourage you guys, if you're not a member, by all means, go to usark.org. This is the splash screen for them. And you can see the first thing that they have on here is the, any alerts that have come up with amendments, proposals, new laws, anything of interest. There's even talking about when they had that ridiculous little salmonella scare where there was like 12 people or something across country that they claim caught salmonella from their bearded dragons. They put out educational information about that as well, just to give everybody a little bit of facts to fight these things with. So, and they've been really effective. Beginning of this year, there was 5 of them that would have been pretty nasty, like taxes on all animals, bans on all iguanas in Florida, and all this stuff. And it didn't take very long for all of those to get squashed. So definitely jump on there, do this, read through that stuff. Memberships, you go to the membership screen. It's real, super easy. $40 a year for a bronze membership. It's not a lot, and it definitely does make a difference. The numbers matter. And you can even, a couple other things that I like too is, of course, they've got their mission statement on there that I won't sit here and read for everybody. Talking about conservation and so forth. And it's one thing you guys will notice too about, don't make any mistake. USARK isn't against reptile regulations, animal regulations. They're against unreasonable regulations. So there may be times when there's a endangered species issue or there's a real hazard or something like that, that they may be in agreement with some of that stuff, maybe help fine tune it using the experience of the community to help fine tune that stuff. But it's all about, and this is another one too, where they go into, best practices for reptile shows, public health and safety, animal acquisition, all that stuff. So good stuff. Definitely make sure that you're following up with them all the time. Once you get on their email list, they will, you'll get notifications if anything really important comes up. There's been a lot of bad laws that have been avoided because of them. Phil Goss is awesome. And actually, Jeremy Turgeon, Brassman Reptiles, right down an hour from me here. He's on full-time with USARK too as well. So we've got a full-time USARK rep in North Carolina. Okay. Let's see. Okay, you guys still talking about the book? Cool. Get this back. See where we're at. Okay. So I thought, since it's been so much bird stuff and all this other stuff here lately, and the photography and being gone for a couple weeks, I thought it was really important that we get back to the heart and soul of what we started doing and have Monty help us. Because when we first started putting out videos, it was all about big snakes. Hi, how you doing? You mellow? One of the things you'll hear me talk about in my videos is opening the lid towards you. That way, if they're all hyper and stuff, you get a chance to see that before they just decide to jump out and attack you. But let's go ahead and keep this here. You can see the little, you see my coffee cup rattle. You gonna come out? And I'm using a different mic tonight too. Let me know if the audio on this thing is squirrely at all. I was using my shotgun mic, but I knew since I might be around the room, I decided to run the lav mic instead. So, are you coming? Come on, sweetie. Come on. Oh, quit that. My God, you're such a friggin' beast. You're probably going to see me break some rules here because I got a 17-foot snake in a tiny little office. So as you see her going around my neck and all that stuff, just know not to do that. Because I'm sure once she decides to get out and start exploring, I'm going to have my hands full. But I just weighed her the other day on empty stomach and bowels. And really, are you that lazy tonight? She's just over 80 pounds and 17 feet. Come on, girl. Come on, lazy. Oh, my God. You're coming whether you want to or not. There you go. There you go. Come on out. Come see everybody. Come on, get in my lap. There you go. Not a whole lot of room for a 17-foot snake in here, so she'll have her head over here and her tail on the other side of the room, ripping stuff down off the walls and stuff. But and like I said, just because of space, I got to kind of fold her up a little bit. But plus, I know she's a really mellow snake, so I really don't worry about her trying to hang on or mistake me for a deer and start hanging on or nothing. But you guys will get to sit here and listen to me grunt and groan for a little while until I can get her calmed down. Look at you. Come on, sweetie. So we think, oh, let's see, where's my arm going? Get over here. Trying to get over here and find the comments. Good God, girl. Holy cow. Seriously? I can't reach my mouse yet. Come on. Get out of there. All right. I think are you really going back in the tub? Somebody's being camera shy tonight. Oh no. Oh no. I knew this was coming. Come on, sweetie. Stay away from the ceiling fan. All right. No, you're not getting tricky like that. It'll take a couple seconds here to get her calmed down some. She wants to wrestle around for a little while, and then she'll start to get tired, and then she'll sit there and just chill out. You're going to find a comfortable spot there, girl. You get up there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, for those of you guys that haven't seen her before, I've had her since she was. I mean, she was a little bit bigger than Chloe when I got her. So this is something to keep in mind as everybody's going out and getting retics. It's a really good reason to not do the budget super dwarf stuff from people that you're not 100% sure of whether they're actually breeding super dwarfs or mainlands, because you could very easily end up with a snake this size. And she's not. I mean, right now she's good sized, but she's not a big retic. Like I said, she's only 17 feet, and I've worked with some that are 20 feet before and significantly heavier, believe it or not. And so yeah, you can get your hands full with them really quick. I got to keep a close eye on her, because make sure she doesn't go towards the ceiling fan. I don't have to worry about it with the smaller snakes, but she's more than twice as long as this room is tall. So, all right, let's see. I know I'm missing a bunch of comments here. See, yep. Yeah, Caesar, we're talking about USARK having a battle on their hands with animal rights groups. And I wish there was something else that we could call them besides animal rights groups, because, you know, organizations like PETA, they're not into animal rights. They're into obstructing our rights to keep animals. You know, PETA's probably killed more animals than most diseases. So yeah, definitely important that we've got an organization like USARK behind us. What are you doing? Okay. What are you getting into? She's such a good girl, but God, is she a freaking beast. Let's see if I can't move the camera around a little bit. There we go. All right. What you doing? You gonna chill for a bit? You don't get any coffee. Sorry. There you go. Get back there. Go ahead and chill out. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I hate that. I keep telling people, hey, don't do this, don't do that. But I mean, just like I did a video the other day. I think it was the last one that I did in the behavior series. Opened up Tigger's enclosure, and I couldn't see where he was at for the video. I was feeding him. I stick my head in the enclosure to see where he's at, and it was another one of them. Yeah, don't do this. But oh yeah, thanks, man. She is a good girl. And yeah, her iridescence, man, when she gets outside, is just insane. There's times you catch her in the right sunlight and you literally can't see her pattern because it's all like ultraviolet. She's just really, really cool. Yeah. No, cool. Yeah, you can see it a lot. Somebody was showing me a picture of a Molly Golden Child, black one. And that iridescence really, really stands out on them. I mean, they don't have the pattern to interfere. Oh, yeah, she's a good girl. How is that owner who lost his babies? I'm not sure what you're talking about. If I had to guess, I would guess you're talking about the fellow down in Florida who lost all of his snakes because of FWC screw up. I don't know how he's doing, but I know that situation, a lot of goods come out of it. It was a terrible situation, but it drew so much attention. It drew worldwide attention. The major networks caught it, and they made a bunch of changes at the FWC down in Florida because of that. That's really improved the relationship between USARK Florida, reptile keepers, and FWC. There's a lot more cooperation and a lot more good things going on down there because of that. So. Oh yeah, she's not gonna nibble on me. She's not Niles. I still got to put that video out too. Niles got a hold of me really good a couple weeks ago. I was in there hanging out with him, and it'd been a couple years since he's really taken a shot at me. I wasn't worried about it. I'm just sitting there petting him, and he got a hold of my whole arm, took my arm in his mouth, and yeah, it was fun. So I'm gonna put out a video on that too at some point. She is, and she knows it. I mean, she'll blow out some discs in your back and stuff like that, but it's all in love. Yeah, love the iridescence on these things. Yeah, she doesn't want to be in the camera anymore. I tell you, it doesn't take her long anymore. I mean, she's so big, she exerts a little bit of effort now and then, but once she does, she's down for the count. So, octopus with no friends. How you doing, man? Good to see you. The camera adds a few feet. You're surprised, man. We had one of my crews at work was working close to the house last year. So I went out the first day, took Charlie, my boa imperator, out there and let the crew and the inspector and everybody check him out. And next day I brought her out there, and it's really cool when you take an animal this size out and interact with people that don't keep snakes. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's a pretty good analogy. I always talk about handling these guys like climbing or trying to climb a rope that's trying to get away from you. But yeah, fire hose probably fits as well. Oh yeah. Yeah, Chloe's none too happy about not being the center of attention. So oh yeah. Yeah. It can be, man. When I get her out in the backyard and I've got to start, I'll put her down there and let her roam around. And then when she roams too far, I got to pick her up and bring her back to the other side of the yard. And she's just kicks my butt every time I do. Oh, hey, Ashley, how you doing? Oh, yeah, she's calmed down a little bit. Now she's back to her just checking stuff out self. Such a sweet girl. Such a sweet girl. All right, where are you going? Where are you off to? Are you done hanging out? I know you're tied in knots around me. I'll tell you what, though, man, there's just something incredibly special about, taking in an animal that's, like I said, Chloe's size, so small, and just watching them grow up like this and having that relationship with them where you trust them, they're not afraid of you, you can work with them, you do whatever you want to. It's one of the things that I tell people when they talk about being afraid of snakes, is people don't realize how tolerant these animals actually are, and the amount of the amount of things that they put up with when we're handling them. I mean, if you can imagine what it's like trying to wrestle an 80, 100-pound snake or something like that, and dragging them all over the place, being that snake and having some hairless monkey trying to drag you all over the yard. I mean, if it was me, I'd be biting people. Leave me alone. Tell me where to go. I'll go there on my own. But these guys, once you build trust with them, they're so tolerant of handling. It's really, once you make sure they don't have a food mode going and they're ready to get out and explore, they're just so easy to work with. Do you want to go curl up down there again? You can get back in the comments and all that. Come on, girl. Why don't you go ahead and jump back down there? Here, I'll twist it up. Get in there. Yeah, like I said, I weighed her the other day, and she's just over 80 pounds on an empty stomach. So, and considering, having an empty stomach, you would think it wouldn't matter too much, but when you eat 7-8 pound rabbits, there, you go ahead and hang out for a little bit in there. Yeah, there's only so long we're going to be able to wrestle around with her and still be able to interact with anybody. But I guess I could probably get Chloe out. I know she wants out anyway. Oh, well, hello. What are you doing up there? You want to come hang out? Everybody wants to see you. Come on. Come on, jealous. Let go of the stick. There you go. Come on. Get your butt off of there. There we go. Okay. That's the bad part about having branches and climbing stuff and all that in the snake's enclosures. It takes a little while to get them off of it sometimes. There, you're much easier to work with. All right. But yeah, like I said, Monty, when I first got her, she wasn't a whole lot bigger than Chloe. And in another 5 years, I heard that you better not shit on me. And this girl right here is a mainland female, so another 5 years, she's going to be right up there with Monty. She is going to be just stunning when she gets that big. There's just something about these big labs that I absolutely love. Where's your head? What are you doing? She's such a brat. Come on up. You haven't seen everybody in like 2-3 weeks. I'm gonna come out and say hi. There you go. For those of you guys that are new too and don't know the story behind her, she, somebody just alerted me to the fact that there was a retic that needed a new home, and I went out there. She was in pretty squalid conditions, really bad, ice cold, no water, an empty house full of cockroaches, and ended up getting her that day, bringing her home. And she's just done extremely well ever since then. One of the sweetest animals in the house, hands down. So, let's see. I need to turn this fan off, drying my contacts out. All right, where are we at? Man, look at you angling there. Tara says, I think you're neglecting Chloe. She needs a home with more attention. I'll take her. I'm glad I got her out before I read that. Oh, is Lilith up there too, cruising around? Cool. Yeah, maybe I'll bring her out at some point too. She's our Jag Pondro, who is a really unique looking snake. Not something that you see very often. If I ever considered anacondas, had one back in 2009, explored a collector and regretted it. Yeah, female green anacondas. I'm on my short list. Matter of fact, I think that's the next snake that I'm going to intentionally get is a female green. The only thing, and I guess I really shouldn't worry about it too much immediately, because they grow more slowly than retics do. So I could get a young one, and I could probably jockey things around to get a space for her. But I already need more space for the snakes that I've got. And I've been kind of holding off on that just because I want to have, when I get a green, I want to have her set up with a semi-aquatic enclosure and all that cool stuff for them. So yeah, they definitely have. I think green anacondas are absolutely gorgeous animals. Yeah, so like I said, that's the next snake that I'm going to intentionally get. What are you doing, silly girl? Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe this is the same species of animal, Get that, big, heavy, green-looking snake and this little tiny white and yellow banana-looking thing, and it can be hard to kind of associate them as being the same species of animal. That was one thing. I don't know if all of the breeders were really happy about it either, but that was one of the things at the last reptile show I spoke at. I took Monty and Tigger, my 16-foot male, down with me, had them out, and was kind of given a talk on buying retics. And you need to understand that when you get this little bitty animal, it's in this little bitty tub right now. A few years down the road, this is what you've got to work with, and you gotta be ready for it. You'll see. Those reptile shows, see a lot of people going in there that don't necessarily have the right. I don't want to say they're not stupid. They're not irresponsible. They just don't know because nobody's told them. And you got to make sure that, especially with these breeders, that they're asking people the right questions before they get these animals. And I think for the most part, people are doing really good about it. But you do got to watch that. I mean, if you're ever at a reptile show and you see somebody that clearly doesn't know what they're getting themselves into, kind of hang back and watch a little bit, see what kind of questions the vendor is asking them, and maybe pull that person to the side if they're not making sure that people are appropriately educated and prepared for what they're getting themselves into. Because just like that one video that I put out not too long ago about the defensive animals, that showed the guy, sitting there sparring. He was almost like he was jousting and fencing with his retic, with the snake hook. People get them and then they get big. They're not comfortable with them, don't know how to handle them, and they end up, it's just a bad experience for everybody all the way around. I don't know. Yeah, it could have been up there. Hey, Kenley, good to see you. Hey, John made it. Good to see you, man. Where'd you go? I really got to watch this girl because she will. Okay. Yeah, she will take off in a hurry. Yeah, you guys that are just jumping on, man, you'll have to scroll back and watch. I got Monty up here. I just put her back in the tub because she's big and I'm old, and it's really hard to keep up when I'm trying to wrestle her around. So yeah, I had her out for a little while. But I hope you've been good, John. Yeah, for those of you guys that aren't familiar with John at Tipping Scales, he is a YouTube creator as well. By all means, jump on, follow him. He does some really great work. Does some really great work with his videos, and tends to hit. He's really good at hitting controversial subjects with some class and some rationality. Definitely something that we need more of. So you'll definitely, if you guys like hanging out and following us, then you'll definitely like John. So, Rachel, good to see you. Yeah, I know it's been a hot minute. What are my thoughts on Burmese pythons? I love Burmese pythons. I've got a Burmese python right behind me. So I will jump back there and bring her out in a minute too, because, all these guys missed you guys. Last Saturday, Chloe was sitting there at the enclosure with her head up like, okay, I'm supposed to be on camera now. So see if I can get caught up on these comments real quick, and I'll jump back and get Athena, my little Burmese python. But if you're looking for more than I like them, Burmese pythons, I think of Burmese pythons the exact same way I think of reticulated pythons, anacondas, rock pythons. They're large constrictors, and you'll hear people say that this species is meaner than that species, and to some degree they may have proclivities towards some being a little bit more reactive than others and things like that. But your Burm and your retic, your anaconda, if you raise them right, you get that right relationship built with them, they're all going to be good to work with. It all depends on the keeper. Good keeper can make a bad animal good, and a bad keeper can make a good animal bad. But Burms I love my Burms. They're a little bit more laid back. My Burm is a lot easier to manage when I'm outside because he's a lot slower, a lot more mellow. Whereas I put Tigger down on the ground and he turns into a rabbit right away and just takes off and get out of there. Try and drink my coffee. Well, you gotta be crazy. That is the last thing you need is coffee. So, yeah, Burms are awesome. An interesting fact about Burmese pythons too. Last time I looked, Burmese pythons are on the endangered species list, listed as threatened on there in their natural habitat. But most people don't really think about that because we got the invasive problem down in Florida. Of the big constrictors, I think that's one of the few that's actually listed as threatened on there. So maybe that's something to be said for if we go out and we overhunt and we overbuild in their habitats, just maybe they might start taking over places where they're not normally supposed to be at, because humans don't know how to respect the environment the way we should. We lose a lot of species to us screwing things up. I would really hate to see us lose berms, because berms are awesome. Another good point to people talk about keeping them in captivity is the captive breeding programs. I really think that given enough time, captive breeding is going to save a lot of species from extinction, because we're just screwing things up entirely too quickly for a lot of these things to recover. Go ahead and put her back and get ready to get a tune out in a minute. Are you gonna? Here, come on, get back in there. I know. Get in there, pretty girl. Okay. Yeah, berms are awesome. Short answer. Let's see where we at. Oh yeah. I'm really looking forward to getting one. They're just really awesome. Oh, let's see. Kelly just took in a rescued 3-month-old Savannah monitor. Food response is good, drinking water and basking, but not moving around too much, and stays curled up most of the time. I mean, if everything else is on point, all the parameters and heat, and if they're eating, drinking, and all that other stuff, and having proper bowel movements, it's young. It may just be afraid, the big thing with monitor lizards and things like that, when we start working with them, is it's really beneficial to try not to impose on them and chase them around and stuff like that. Any opportunity you can, unless you absolutely positively have no choice but to go in and catch them and move them out. It's always best to start working with them by luring them out with food and letting them interact with us on their own terms. Once you get them out, start just spending time with them, things like that. And if he's not moving around too much, I really wouldn't go in after. What I would do, and this is the advice that I was given with Niles when he was a baby, and that's to just make sure that they can see you as often as possible. Of course, the baby, so you're not going to be sitting in an open enclosure with them or anything like that, but just, sit there, and even if, doors closed, doors open, doesn't matter, just sit there and don't try and interact with them at all. A lot of species will, they'll get curious and they'll start coming to check you out. It just take a little bit of patience, I think, as it gets a little bit older and gets more accustomed to you. I'm sure it'll start moving around more. Excuse me. Yeah. So that just kind of hits. Hey, Del, how you doing? Yeah. After a couple hours working with these big snakes outside, it makes me want ball pythons too. But then I remember how much I like my big snakes. I've actually got 2 ball pythons downstairs that don't get a whole lot of talking about anacondas growing slower. Yeah, so it would give me a little bit more leeway before she started getting really big. But gardening for trichomes, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Yes, it is. It's amazing. You put the effort in ahead of time to build a relationship with these animals, and it's so rewarding at the other end of it. Makes it so much easier to work with. Yeah, that is true. Savanna monitors need a lot of heat and patience. I just heard somebody back there moving around. See, I might have time to get Bob out too. Bob being our we got here. I mean, yeah, yeah. Ball pythons are just at the rate everybody's breeding ball pythons, they're going to evolve in intelligence and take over the world and start like keeping human beings in camps. It just amazes me how many ball python breeders there are out there. So, let's see. B1. What's the first species that comes to mind that's mostly wild caught and could use a good captive breeding program? That is something, and that's a good thing that John brings up too, because people have asked me if I breed anything or if I'm planning to breed. I don't, and the only time I would seriously consider breeding is when I do get into a position where I can expand a little bit. I want to start looking into that, but it's going to be conservation breeding. I want to find out, which species of animal is really in the worst shape in the wild, and see what I can do about maybe breeding some of those things in captivity and just helping to propagate them a little bit. Because, species like the crested geckos, eyelash geckos, you guys may be familiar with, they were thought to be extinct at one point. And they found a population of them on one of the islands. I want to say it was out by New Zealand or something like that. And brought them in, started breeding them. Now it's like everybody that owns a reptile has got a crested gecko. We literally brought that whole species back from extinction. So captive breeding is really important, conservation breeding and so forth. So I haven't researched it yet. When I do get to that point, I'm definitely going to start looking into it more and seeing what I need to start getting involved in order to do that. But yeah, Caesar brought to example another one, gharials. Those were I'm not terribly familiar with them. Caesar is the crocodilian guy, so if he says gharials was on the brink of extinction and brought back through captive breeding, then I believe him. But yeah, I mean, we're going to start seeing more and more species in that same boat. Yeah, no, it's going to be Planet of the Ball Pythons instead of Planet of the Apes. See, it's the conspiracy theory things that everybody started, freaking lizard people. I always said that we create our own reality. Get enough people saying that shit, before you know it, we're going to have. Yeah, let me go ahead and get get some of these other guys out. You want to come hang out? Come on, sweetness. Well, come on. You come out and say hi. You coming out? You coming? Coming out? There you go. This little girl's getting big too. There we go. Yeah. Here's Athena. She's a Burmese python. Since we started talking about Burms, we got to bring her out. And the timing should work out too. We'll have I'll go ahead and bring Bob out as well after I put her back. Bob's a little bit more cantankerous than Athena is, but this is one of my babies that I didn't think was gonna make it when I got her because I had to force feed her for so long. And as you can see, she's not missing any meals. Dead right. I mean, I'm not saying you're fat. I wouldn't insult you like that, but you're healthy. Yeah, if you want to see a really good illustration of the difference in demeanor between Retics and Burmese, you can see how Chloe was all over the place when I took her out, and Athena, my Burm, is so much more mellow. She's a lot more leisurely. I would say they're a little less reactive, but I can't necessarily say that. You can get a pretty good food response out of Burms. They can be really reactive too, but they are a little bit more mellow. And if you're comparing them physically, Burms tend to be heavier bodied than Retics are. Retics are a little bit more athletic, of course. Of course, that stands to reason. They're more athletic, both in their physique and their personality. You're such a sweet girl. The sense I'm getting. Let's see. Oh, hey, Chris, man, good to see you. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've had a couple weeks off. Yeah, you guys that are getting here a little late, you'll have to go back a little bit earlier and rewatch the part. I had Monty out. She's back in the box though. So. Yeah, Bob can be like a little grumpy old man, that's for sure. I know this has come up before, and I have seen a couple people that have bred Sri Lankans. The time I took that one in, I think he was only like one of 20 in the country. And I know there's been a couple clutches of them since then. I'm not entirely sure who hatched them, but I am sure if to ask around, I'm sure somebody knows who it was. Yeah, she's not obese. She's a growing girl. Like I said, she's healthy. She's got good Burmese proportions. So. Oh, wow. See, I didn't know that. Caesar was saying that the alligators were nearly extinct in the 70s, but the conservation programs brought them back. That's cool. The video on how to make a cabinet. I have got 2 years ago, I think I put out a video on my boa cabinet, and I made that. It's been so long since I've made it, and I haven't watched it in so long. I'm not entirely sure how much detail it goes into, but there is that video. And let me see if I can. As I'm talking here, I'll look for the boa cabinet video and link it down here. And then if you got any questions or anything, you're more than welcome to hit me up. Get over here. Oh, come on. I need a secretary. Content. There we go. Okay. Come on, sweetie. I'm going to put you back. Oh, I multitask so much. All right. I'll see if I can find this video real quick. And See, I think I do this by views because this was one of the. Oh, really? Greater than or equal to 1,000. Let's see if I can find this. Aha, look at that. Very first one. Okay. All right. I just posted a link for that DIY boa enclosure for you, Chris. And like I said, I haven't seen that in forever. I don't remember even what I said in it. It's been so long. But yeah, if you think it'd be worth doing another video updated or something like that, or if you got any questions, by all means, man, let me know. I'm preoccupied with birds right now, but definitely want a goldeneye blood. Yep, those are cool. Bloods are a lot of fun, and I'm kind of preoccupied with birds too, as far as taking pictures of them. I'll tell you what, the whole photography thing, it's just there's few things more satisfying than tracking and finally getting that shot that you've been waiting on. The big one that I'm waiting on is the lake that I go to. There's a couple of osprey that hunt out there. So I really, and I'll spend hours out there camping these guys, just waiting to get them close enough in the right light, coming down and grabbing a fish out of the water. And with this Canon R5 right now, this thing is, it is a beast. Does 20 frames per second. So I can just follow them all the way down, catch everything that they do. It's great. Yeah, bloods have definitely got a bad reputation. Let's see. Hey, George, good to see you, man. Hey, it's good to catch a live. So to see all the positive and negative vibes in the hobby and love, your respect for the animals, avid reptile lover, and care for them as my children. It's awesome. Yeah, I think that's one thing too. Since I don't breed and I don't sell, which means I don't part with my animals, unless I lose one, which it's been a while since I've lost anything. But yeah, man, when you got just a little closed family of you and your animals like that, you definitely get pretty close to them. That's for sure. I don't know. Maybe it just comes through. Nicole was asking if I was green or yellow on Athena's sides. I don't know. Maybe it just comes through looking weird, but maybe, I don't know. I haven't really paid attention. I don't notice any green or yellow. It probably looks yellowish because of the tan coloring there. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Chris was saying he's trying to pick one up. I've actually got my jungle carpet python down in the basement is in another cabinet. I've got 3 cabinet enclosures. One for the boa imperator, one for the jungle carpet python, and then one for Chloe up here. So. See here, never had a boa. Boas are fun. Boas, that's one thing that I'm really looking forward to with raising this green anaconda is boas, I think, are pound for pound a lot stronger than retics and Burmese both. Boa, there's something about my boa, as small as he is, he's only like 7 feet. But man, when he locks on, he feels stronger than my big snakes pound for pound, if that makes sense. And I'm gonna venture to guess that when the anaconda gets big, that's probably going to be a really humbling experience from a strength perspective. So let me take Bob out really quick because we're getting kind of close. And I've kind of left. Hey, buddy, how you doing? I know you're gonna. You want to come see everybody? Everybody misses you. Everybody misses the Bob. He's sitting in there staring at me right now. Everybody misses the Bob. I know. Come on. Oh, stop. Oh, stop. Come on. Ah. No. Why are you being crazy? Come on. Come on, bud. Putting up such a fight. Come on. So here's the world famous Silent Bob, the killer. Yeah. And I guess I should have probably pointed this out too when I had Athena out. These Sri Lankans, yeah, of course, they look really similar to Burmese. Pattern's different. You can see they've kind of got a rosier appearance to the head. And as soon as he decides to get over there, a little blockier, a little bit more muscular. But for those of you guys that are new to channel 2 and haven't seen it yet, this guy's become a bit of a celebrity, especially with newer snake keepers. Because really, dude, come on. Okay, I'll let him do his thing for a second. Because we did a series with him when I first got him. He was completely terrified of people. Didn't want anything to do with us. And so I decided to go ahead and start a series from the very first time I handled him all the way through until he learned how to get along with people. And it took about 10 episodes to get him really calmed down and trustworthy like this. When the first time I took him out, it was musk and bites and blood, and he just didn't want nothing to do with it. And as you can see, we've come to an understanding since then. Really didn't take too long. It took maybe 5 handling sessions to really get him started on being manageable and so forth. And then, another 5 more to go after that. And he was good to go. Now he still kind of likes to be left alone. If he's in his house, when I go in there to get him, he'll still hiss at me and all that other stuff and make a big noise and act all tough. But get right, always acting tough. But once he gets out, he does really well. Get right. He's actually the only snake that's ever bitten me on a live stream too. I had him out one day. I used to keep a condenser mic sitting right here on the desk. And the first time I brought him out with that thing, he just tore that mic to pieces. Hated it, terrified of it, just sitting there striking at it. And I had him on my shoulder, and he decided to. I looked down at him, and as soon as I looked back towards the camera, he took a shot at me, bit me in the cheek. But we've gotten past that now. Why don't you get off the chair so I can... All right, bud. Come on. Let go of the chair. Well, I'm not going to piss him off, so I'll let him stay back there. But yeah, the Sri Lankan is for a long time they were classified as locality Indian rock python. Much like locality retics, they grow a little bit smaller, but they've been given their own species since then. So now Sri Lankan python is his own species. So. Yeah, that's the only clue, as what Tara was saying, is the only clue to his initial temperaments. Every time I get him out, he always has to have a minor protest, and he does. But I mean, look at this guy. I mean, hey, where are you going? Oh, I'm looking the wrong way. He's such a good boy. Yep, it's Bob. Let's see. I don't know if anybody has a red tail Suriname here or not. Yep. Bob is his own man. That is for sure. So. Yeah. Oh yeah. My boa, when I get him out here, and he's too big to get through those holes, but he'll still try. I've really got to pay attention to him because he'll get into those holes, and I know he won't get stuck, but he's close enough to the right size to get stuck. If any of my snakes is going to do it, it'd be him. Ledka, how you doing? Good to see you. It's a new name. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Welcome. If you're not already, jump down, get subscribed to the channel, hit like on the video and all that cool stuff. Yeah, Erica is really good with, she's got some good boas. Matter of fact, right after this live stream, we're going to be going out to the Zoom meetup for our contributing Patreon members. So if you guys have any interest in that, any tier support on the Patreon page, we all do a Zoom meetup after the live streams, and it's really cool. We've got some really good keepers in there. It gives everybody a chance to get on camera, and we show off different animals and share experiences and stuff like that. It's a nice open forum, really laid back, no drama, and a really good group. And it really does really appreciate the Patreon community here. We've got some great folks, and it is an absolute huge help in helping to grow things. Like I said, we don't do any breeding. We don't sell anything. It's all just making the videos, sharing experience and stuff like that. So, yeah, the Patreon folks are really, really much appreciated. So, yeah, Tara is one that is on there with us every time. It's always a lot of fun. The only thing about the Zoom calls that I've had to start doing is I've had to, after about an hour and a half or something, make somebody else a moderator, because they will go on for 2-3 hours. Sometimes they'll go on forever. And I'm on the East Coast, so all my West Coast friends are out there, and they're 3 hours earlier. So it'll be 1 o'clock, and I'll be like, okay, guys, I gotta go. What are you doing? Okay. I'd like to get him. Here, I'll tell you what. He wants to say something. Just don't eat it. Tell everybody what you think. Come on. Oh. Tried to get him to say something into the camera, but he decided he was going to stop hissing. Okay, any last minute questions or concerns or suggestions or anything like that? I do want to know, what's everybody think of the wildlife photography stuff? Let me know down in the comments or in the chat, because I feel like, we've covered so much stuff over the last couple of years with the snake handling and all this other stuff. Like I said, I'm still going to keep adding on to that, still going to keep doing all that stuff. But I think, all the other channels, they've got stuff about breeding and things like that, and the big social meetups. I wanted to do something a little bit different than adding the wildlife photography thing into here. I think it gives us a little bit broader range of stuff to enjoy. So by all means, let me know what you think. And where are we at here? Okay. But in the meantime, I'm going to get ready to go. Here we go. Get ready to go take a break and start up probably going to be about 10 minutes or so after we close out here. I'll get the Zoom call started. All the Patreon folks, you all got the link in your email. It's the recurring link. So we will see you guys there. Let's see. Really loving the wildlife photography, yellow finches. Yeah, there's some goldfinches. that I'm hunting. I'm really looking to get some really good shots of them. Those are awesome looking. And it's nice because with this R5 now, man, I can nail in those small birds. Had a couple of kingfishers, small birds like this. They fly incredibly fast. Had a couple of them going through, and just as he was flying by me, man, like 3,000 miles an hour, I just came down, held down on the shutter on that thing, and got like 20 crystal clear images of him flying across in front of me. Just really awesome. So cool. Be a little late. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to be a little late, John. I have about 10, 15 minutes. Got to run up and get more coffee and step away for a second. That's awesome, man. I think a lot of us can nail stuff down to like that one moment where we actually just fell in love with snakes. Yeah, Nicole is saying she loves seeing the wildlife photography. Would love to see some pictures of my animals. I've been thinking about that, and I'm like, you know what? I need to take my animals outside and start getting some really good pictures of them, which I am going to do very soon. I may do it tomorrow. Get my guys outside, just step back with the camera and start taking pictures of them, because we need to start adding some snake pictures in there. And yes, don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. It's good seeing you guys. Like I said, sorry we've been kind of out of the loop for a couple weeks, but we're only human and life happens, and I will do my level best to make sure we keep up with the schedule here moving forward. But as always, good to see you guys. Appreciate you coming through. And Bob is licking the back of my head. What are you doing? So yeah, we will see everybody. Oh yeah, let me. I guess I should probably put this link up here real quick. Here is the page that. That's my website, www.intrepidexotics.com/wildlife is where you guys can go in and see all of the bird photography and wildlife photography. I've got some stuff of some elephants and baboons that I caught at the zoo that are really cool because you can't even really tell they're in a zoo. It looks like I was on safari, so it's like a poor man's safari. But yeah, go check that out too. And we'll be doing, so I'll be building some more stuff up on that as well. Like I said, man, it's all just a work in progress. There's never a dull moment, always stuff to do. So you guys have an outstanding rest of the weekend. Be safe. And like I said, you guys can also catch us on Intrepid Exotics on Facebook, Instagram. Get subscribed to the YouTube channel. You can go ahead and save the link for the website. We're going to be adding some phenomenal photos to that of some really cool stuff. I'll be adding the snakes to it here probably over the weekend as well. And but yeah, good to see everybody. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna start the Zoom call, and we'll see you guys next Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern. Have a good night.